something you talk about is supernormal stimuli, right? Which are what? Socially accepted extremes?
Socially handed to us on a golden platter.
Yes, right? Or encouraged highly. And I really wanted to talk about this because I love the way you framed it. Because I think people talk about this in a way that either feels foreign to them, even though it's so close to them, right? Or they can't grasp it. And it's like, this is so tangible. And the way you framed it, I'm 100% going to be saying this from now on. Super normal stimuli, right? Tell me about that.
So, yeah, supernormal stimuli are things that cause us to feel really, really good and take us out of the present moment. Things like sugar that also give us that dopamine hit, things like sex that give us a physical release, things like even action movies that are super enticing. And it, in our society, we are built upon these super normal stimuli and they become our normal. So things that are naturally occurring, like a hug from your mom, or petting the dog, or smelling fresh laundry, things that also help like feel good, don't ever reach the feel goodness of these supernormal stimuli that are not naturally occurring. So we're never going to reach the same stimulus from naturally occurring things, which lead people to thinking that a normal, natural life is not good enough. So we're always seeking these big super normal things. And I don't know if we were recording when we were talking about this, but we talked a lot about how people live their day to day in the automation. They answer questions in the automation of, how are you? Good. How's work? Good. I go to a job, I do this because that's what I was told to do. And that's so mundane that these supernormal stimuli feel so good. That becomes our expectation for life. And none of those things are naturally occurring, so it automatically takes us out of our bodies, and now we're living for things external, which why we're in that crisis full circle of people not feeling secure or confident or in their bodies with the hope that they can live a life that they want to live.
And that's usually everything. And I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but it's usually everything. This is the social media, right? So something that I like to do that I've done a lot and I do myself is I've worked a lot on the back end of the social platforms before it was kind of a cool thing, and I saw a lot of changes and things and issues and problems. So for almost 10 years, I didn't have the apps on my phone. Not at all. It's not because I'm afraid of being tracked, which they're doing, and I'm also not cool with, but that's a different conversation. It's purely because of the dopamine and the reality of they're not just designing them to be pleasurable, they're designing them to be as addictive as humanly possible. They're not even designing them to be addictive. They're designing them to be as addictive as humanly possible. So if it's a scale of 1 to 10 and they can get it to a 9.2, they are trying to get a 9.3, then 9.4, then 9.5. And it takes the life away from everything. And it's very real and it's sad. For you, right, with super normal stimuli, and we see successful people. We see, you on stage, for example, right, and getting to where you're at. How did you get? Let me ask you a secret that's not a secret. How did you get there?
On stage,
Yeah, how did you get on stage? How did you build the life, the body that you wanted?
waking up every day and making decisions that took me there and acting like that person before I was that person.
Oh, I'm gonna bookmark that because we're gonna come there. Because I want to come back to that. But the mundane, right? The day to day, the not sexy, the not boring, or excuse me, the boring, right? The shower every morning. By the way, anybody who's listening, do you notice she didn't say I started running a mile every day? She didn't say I started with 20 push-ups a day. She didn't say I got on this new awesome keto, vegan, gluten-free, lactose-free cheese diet. She said I'm gonna take it's right there. We all have a shower. If you're on a tropical island like me in Okinawa, you got the ocean or whatever. Like it's right there. It's simple. It's a milestone habit. It's something you can brick your way up to building the house that you want, which is also a metaphor and an exercise that I love and I'm probably going to steal and remind myself as well. Can you walk me and everyone else through this exercise of the house? Because I love this.
I'll take everyone through the whole thing. Like, yeah, so you're a house. In this moment, you're a house, and every single decision, thought, energy you put out there, reaction, emotion, feeling lays a brick into that house. A lot of people are living in dungy shacks that they, like we were saying, were not building for themselves. It's the day to day. They're not even aware of all these decisions that they make. And the not sexy things that build a glorious house are living purposefully from the inside out. We all want to live in that amazing mansion on the beach. We're not going to lie about that. Or the huge cabin by the lake in the ocean, in the mountains. And you do not get there by really in this world doing what everyone else does and seeking those external things. You have to change the internal world first. And that looks like taking control of everything that you can control, giving up everything that you have no control over. That's waking up in the morning and telling yourself that you're a great person and that you love yourself. And even if you don't believe it until you believe it, and then it's doing something hard, like getting out and going outside, going on a walk, getting sunshine, hopping in that cold shower. To get on the bodybuilding stage, that house took a lot of early morning cardio and supplements and cooking meals and eating those meals every single day. And I could talk about it for hours, but like you said, it's the non sexy, every single decision, every single thought you have to become aware of to build an intentional house. And before a house is built, I don't know much about contracting, but I do know that they create a blueprint. They know exactly what it's going to look like. They do all the math. They hire all the teams. They lay the piping. They build the foundation. They start acting like the mansion before they see the mansion and put everything in its place, calculated, and then it becomes the mansion. They don't just start throwing stuff at it. They don't just hire the coach with the, like you said, the keto diet with the gluten-free cheese and the fancy thing and think that that's going to take them to the mansion. No, it's the small little daily things that you can control that actually create that mansion.
So if somebody is sitting here and they want to do it, what do you recommend that they start with? Step one, turn off this video, audio. What am I doing?
You're sitting still for 3 minutes with your eyes closed, with no distractions, figuring out how to feel your breath, and truly, genuinely asking yourself, what do you want that house to look like? What do you want your life to look like? And before the judgment comes up, before the rationalization of, oh, I can't do that, I can't afford that, what will people think? Like, what do you actually want? Not what did your mom tell you you should do, what society tells you should do, what your wife wants you to do. What do you genuinely want? Because we all put out energy every day. But if that energy is not directed in a direction that you even know what it's going to, then how are you even going to get a house?
What's going on, guys? If you like that clip right there, you will love the full interview. You can check that out right there. I'll see you on the next video. Oh, and subscribe, because we got a lot of big things coming up in the near future.